Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to update my stock price prediction for Lucid stock in 2024. My previous video suggesting where the stock price could be in 2024 turns out to need an update because of the changing prospects for Lucid stock in 2024. The company updated its earnings, updated its forecast for what it thinks production will be in 2024, and we've gotten a lot more data about EV companies and EV industry worldwide in 2024. So for all those reasons, I'm updating my previous price prediction for Lucid stock in 2024. So let's jump right in here. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. Alright, so one of the numbers I'm going to need to make my price prediction for Lucid stock in 2024 is its price to sales ratio. You can see right now it's at a price to sales of 9.7, and this has been moving continuously downward here in the last year and longer term as the enthusiasm for EV stocks is turning sour over the last 2 years. I'm also going to need the company's average diluted shares outstanding. You can see Lucid has been diluting shareholders aggressively in the last 2 or 3 years. It now has 2.294 billion average diluted shares outstanding. I suspect the company will continue diluting shareholders. It's losing lots of money on the bottom line. We're not going to go into the details into that in this video. But the company's losses on the bottom line need to be funded some way, right? Those losses, that money that the company is losing, it needs to come from somewhere. And unfortunately, that's coming from investors. Investors are giving Lucid money, and Lucid is burning through that money, trying to grow to large enough scale where it can be profitable on the bottom line. That's still several years away, so it's going to continue losing money on the bottom line, and it's going to continue needing money from shareholders so that it can continue operations while it's losing money on the bottom line. The next thing I need is Lucid current stock price. Right now it's trading at $2.76 per share. It's down significantly off the high. It's down significantly already just this year alone in the few months, down from around $4.25 per share to $2.76 per share. If I look back longer term over the last 3 years, Lucid stock is down from close to $60 per share all the way down to $2.75 per share. But Lucid stock is not alone in losing significant sums of money for shareholders. EV companies overall have performed terribly in the last few years as demand for EVs turns out is not so strong. Right, in 2020 and 2021, there was a lot of hype, a lot of enthusiasm around EVs, suggesting they're going to be the future. In the next 5 years, everyone's going to have an EV, and that's not been the case, right? Demand for EVs has been tepid, very tepid, and that's despite the trillions of dollars of incentives that governments worldwide are trying to give consumers so that they can adopt EVs. It's just not there yet, right? There was just too strong of a push initially for EVs. All right, the next thing I'm going to need is the company's revenue estimate for 2024. Currently, the 2024 revenue estimate for Lucid is $783 million. That would be a 31.5% increase year over year for 2024 compared to 2023. I'm going to talk a little bit more about later in the video how this is an unrealistic forecast in my opinion. I think Wall Street is over optimistic about its revenue prospects in 2024 given what Lucid itself said about production. Remember, Lucid said it's only going to increase production less than 10% year over year, so it's not going to make very many more cars than it did in the previous year. And so where's the revenue growth going to come from? Right? It's not going to come from an increase in average selling prices. Industry-wide prices have been coming down. Lucid itself lowered its average selling price. So I don't think it's going to come from there. Maybe Lucid signs a deal licensing its technology like it did last year with Aston Martin. That could be a catalyst. But for now, I think these revenue estimates are too optimistic. Nevertheless, I'm going to use this revenue estimate. Even though I think it's too optimistic, I'm still going to use it for my price prediction for 2024. So now that we've got the numbers, here is my model for predicting Lucid stock price in 2024. Over here, I have the diluted shares outstanding, 2.294 billion, which I got from the latest investor update. I also have here the 783 million 2024 revenue estimate. And if I divide the revenue estimate by the number of shares outstanding, I get a sales per share of 34 cents for 2024. So if I bring that 34 cents over here as a sales per share number and I multiply it by the price to sales ratio, which I got from the current market price here, 9.7, I get an estimated stock price for Lucid in 2024 of $3.31 per share. However, I think the price to sales ratio might decrease. And if one of those scenarios happens, I've highlighted 3 other scenarios that could come to fruition in 2024. If the price to sales ratio falls to 7.5, the price could fall to $2.56. If the price to sales falls to 5, the stock price could fall to $1.71. And in the worst case scenario, if the price to sales falls to 2.5, the stock price could fall to 85 cents. Now, the current share price is $2.75. So in all but one of these scenarios, I have Lucid stock price going down. But 1 out of the 4 scenarios is the one with its current price to sales ratio and current 2024 sales per share estimate, which has the stock price increasing to $3.31. Now, in my previous video, 2 months ago, where I did this forecast and I asked where will Lucid stock price be in 1 year, the estimate I gave then was between $3 per share and $5 per share. But if you look closer at this estimate, you'll realize that Lucid's prospects worsened significantly since then. Look at the sales per share number here that was estimated, and look at the total revenue. When I did this video 2 months ago, analysts on Wall Street were expecting Lucid's total revenue to be 1.37 billion in 2024. You can see now that's been lowered, almost cut in half, to 783 million as EV industry demand has worsened since then. So the sales per share of 60 cents fell to 34 cents, so nearly half of where it was previously. Additionally, the price to sales ratio was 11.7 when I did this video before, and now it's down to 9.7. So investors, as they're seeing EV industry demand weaken and Lucid's prospects weaken, are willing to pay a lower valuation for Lucid stock, which I don't blame them for doing. Remember, I did not have Lucid stock rated as a buy. I have not ever rated Lucid stock as a buy in the several years that I've been following the stock because of these forecasts, because of these factors, because of the macroeconomic forces that are not working in favor of EV companies. So in this video, to update my previous price prediction, I'm downgrading it. Previously, I had Lucid stock going to a valuation of $3 to $5 per share in 2024. I'm decreasing that valuation to a range between $2.50 per share and $3 per share. And you'll notice that's right about where the stock price is now, between $2.50 and $3. So I have the stock price remaining relatively flat for the rest of 2024 as the EV industry shakes out. We're having some exits, right? You've heard of the rumors of Fisker possibly filing for bankruptcy. It's paused production. It's not making any more for at least the next 6 weeks. Rivian forecasted it's not going to increase production in 2024. Tesla said that it's between 2 major growth phases, so it's not going to grow in 2024. So as supply decreases and comes closer to match industry demand for EVs, that could be a catalyst to move the market forward. But for now, the market for EVs is in imbalance. Too much supply, not enough demand, and things need to shake out to better balance supply and demand in that market. So for now, my forecast for Lucid stock in 2024 is a range between $2.50 and $3 per share. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.